Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who are the true leaders of Israel today. And salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedom to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we're the ones who are suffering under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalil, and this video is about the pestilences, which is a part of these end-time prophecies regarding the judgment that is coming at the end of the kingdom of the Edomites. And the Edomites are these so-called white people. All right, in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, I'll actually just read at verse 3 first. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Right? So the disciples wanted to know what things would be seen before the return of our Lord Yahushai. Right? The end of the world at G165 is the Greek word aeon, which is a period, time, age. So it's talking about the end of the period of time of the rulership of the Edomites. And as it says in the book of 2 Esdras chapter 6, starting at verse 7, it will let us know, reading it, that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, which means that the end of Esau's kingdom, Yahushua will be returning. And we are currently in Esau's final rulership. All right, because we know that he has ruled during our Greek captivity, our Roman captivity, and now this final captivity that we're suffering under his rulership. Okay, so this is it, man. This is the end of the rulership of the wicked, and our kingdom is coming, so rejoice. But going to Matthew 24 and verse 7, it says, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So these things are going to be happening simultaneously, and you can look at the war situation going on, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right, and then the earthquakes, a sign of the end, a frequent occurrence. So what's on the table now is the famine that is approaching, and the alarm is being sounded that it is coming due to the ramifications of the war. Plus, when you look at other events around the world, you can see, you know, the famine is being brought in from multiple angles, which the famine is being brought in by the wicked elite of Esau Edom to bring chaos to society, to establish their next order. Okay, and we're in the midst of it right now. And so that means as well that the pestilences are coming. And make note that it says pestilences, not pestilence. And what's going to happen is that Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, is going to send pestilences that are going to truly ravage the world, truly destroy the people, unlike, you know, the narrative that was put out there during the 2020 worldwide situation, which we all know the true deadliness of that situation was the solution that they call it that was suddenly, you know, provided to the people. Okay, so the pestilences are on the table, and it's going to be a multitude of them. And observing the times, looking at what's going on, you can see that there are quite a few that have come up randomly. There was an outbreak in the UK a few weeks ago that some people perished, and, you know, there's a long list from, you know, even just last year, so many different topics of pestilences came about, such as the Marburg disease they reported on the henipavirus, they reported on the bird flu continuously, and the bird flu narrative is still going, by the way. They reported on the Ebola scare. They reported on the bubonic plague, right? There are all kinds of things happening, man. And this year, same thing. But it is all because of Bible prophecy. So now what's on the table is this thing, which is this hantavirus, as they call it. Now, you can see the updates, right? It's recent updates, 3 hours ago, 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, and being reported from all of the mainstream medias. And we know how that system operates. We're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Okay, so PBS, BBC, CBS, CNN, NBC, Yahoo, Los Angeles Times, and out here in Jamaica, the Jamaica Observer. Everybody's reporting on this situation, right? And then it's saying view full coverage. And you can see who, the WHO, which, by the way, yesterday when I Googled it, it didn't have all of this on the Google. It didn't have like, oh, full coverage and WHO human to human hantavirus transmission suspected on trip. It shipped. It didn't have all of this, but you know, it looks like a narrative that is being built up, just like all of these other narratives regarding the pestilences, right? And let's not forget that the same World Health Organization did say that another pandemic is coming. Not if, but when. They said it could come in a few years. They said it could come when they said it. At the time they said it could come in, you know, a few, whenever, it could be close, but they're saying one is for sure. And then last year they signed the pandemic treaty, right, was adopted on May 20, 2025 by the World Health Assembly to strengthen global prevention, preparedness, and response to future pandemics, focusing on equity and cooperation, right? It aims to address gaps from including pathogen sharing and while affirming national sovereignty and explicitity. So what this pandemic treaty is, right? It is basically, once there's another pandemic that comes, it is going to be a one world response. So when one country puts in whatever measures, it's just going to be a global thing for the measures being put in regarding whatever they want to put out there to say, oh, you need to do this and that, right? So you had a whole bunch of different countries that signed it and whatever. So it's a one world response, which when you know about ESA's NWO, it's a one world this, a one world that, a one world X, whatever. Okay, so it's cooking, man, and we know it's cooking because of the prophecy, right? So we'll see how this goes. It's saying that people have perished from it, and as you can see, it's about human to human hantavirus transmission suspected on cruise ship. All right, 3 people to be evacuated, and of course, with something like this, they can easily say, oh, the person that came off of it and now it's spreading. It's like the same kind of narrative. It's the same playbook. But for them, you know, Esau has put such a spell upon the people, at such a great level of deception, that the people are really just very willing to comply. And we saw that during the worldwide pandemic, and they saw it too. So they know that there's a whole bunch of people that, you know, whatever it is that they say, that they will just simply comply, right? Look at this. Jamaica Observer 5 hours ago, WHO tracing over 80 people on flight taken by hantavirus victim. Hold on a second. WHO tracing over 80 people on flight taken by, on flight. Okay, so it's not just a ship. It's not just a ship. You see, now they're reporting that they're tracing 80 people on a flight taken by the hantavirus victim. So you see how this thing goes? It's the same kind of narrative, the same playbook. Okay? So any of these things, man, that they've reported on can suddenly turn into another pandemic. You know, they can drive that narrative however they want to drive it. And the thing is, let's not forget that Yahushua said that these things are going to be happening all at the same time. So the famine and pestilence, great judgment is coming to the world, man. And if you're not protected by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, you're through. All right? 2 Ezra 15 and verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I'll bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right? It's coming, man. Go back to this pestilences. There's one in Ezekiel 7 and verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. So you see how the Lord pairs it together, the famine and the pestilence? Okay? Once again, there's no escaping, man. Ezekiel 5 and verse 17. So I will send upon you famine and evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it. So this is the judgment that is coming, man. Should strike a great amount of fear in you, okay, to hear about this. Because this ain't no plaything, man, right? Not at all. And the Lord has been warning you people about this for decades upon decades, and now we're in that time, right? And the Lord has always sent his prophets, man, to prophesy the downfall of a kingdom and to prophesy what judgment the Lord is going to be bringing to that specific vile wicked kingdom, right? Jeremiah 28 and verse 8, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of Salakia, and of evil and of pestilence, right? So that's just what it is. And America is their main hub in this captivity, right? America is Babylon the Great, the whore that rides the beast, right? And America is that place. In Revelation chapter 11 verse 8, it says that great city that is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, right? So America is likened unto Egypt. And in some places in the scriptures, like in Isaiah 19, when it's talking about Egypt, it's talking about America. That's what it's referring to, that place that is spiritually Egypt, right? So, when you look at the plagues of Egypt, ancient Egypt, that the Lord brought to the Hamites, right? Who were the ancient Egyptians who had us in captivity that the Lord delivered us out of. You can see it, man, the 10 plagues, water and blood, the frogs, the lice and gnats, the flies, livestock pestilence, which that is what the bird flu is, and whatever else that is being conjured up, man. Okay? Boils, painful, open sores erupted on both people and animals. Locusts, right? Darkness, right? So there's going to be plague and disease and pestilence that is going to be hitting America and hitting the world, and we're in that time very clearly. So it's simple, man. I had this video saved by, I do believe, the elder GMS Vegas 144 Reloaded. More plague pestilences continue to spread, Bible prophecy quietly speaking. And it's true, because when you really keep up with what's going on, you can see the long list of pestilences that have been reported, and eventually it's going to reach the next level where people are just going to be dropping by the thousands, right, from the pestilences. Okay, so you actually follow the page and you can watch the video. They just talk about the ones that are currently going on, like, hold on, does this have, I turned on the CC but it's not coming up. I wonder if it has transcript. Yes, right? So there's like a disease in California, which is actually what is it, they called it, no, not this one, I think it's this one, the HMPV. Yeah, this is it, right? Where they're saying there's no V for it. Surge and detection. And a few months ago there was this heavy disease breakout in Cuba as well. Our people over there in Cuba, man, tribe of Manasseh, they really going through it. They're right now, Jacob's trouble, it is upon all of us. But Jacob's trouble is turned up, to me, a bit more than other places around the world over there in Cuba, right? It's really turned up upon our people, man. Our people are really suffering very greatly over there, but those who are of the hopeful elect in Cuba will be just fine, right? So this just reports on, see, it's talking about tuberculosis and you know, it mentions some other stuff, but salmonella infection, what's this? Lyme disease, right? Oh, 5 kids, what's that? Legionnaire's disease. Okay. And what's this dude talking about?
Usually the symptoms start right away between 1 and 10 days. That's what they're saying. So again, if you stayed at the wind.
Oh, it's the Legionnaire's disease. Yeah, so as you can see, man, it's clear. All right. The prophecy is speaking, and that is the truth. Prophecy is speaking regarding all of these end time prophecies, right? And, you know, I mentioned before that the people who are in rulership, the Edomites specifically, really their ruling class, the wicked elite of Esau, Edom, have their agenda at hand. And they're going to be bringing great chaos to the world, man. And Esau is the Lord's sword. As it says in Psalms 17 and verse 13, arise, O Lord Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So it is the Lord who is orchestrating all of this, using the wicked Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, to do all of these things. All right, to bring hell and chaos and death to the world. And this is what is literally happening right now. And with any of these diseases, plagues, pestilences that have come about, they can very easily, as we all literally witnessed, how they can just drive the narrative. And because Esau is in complete rulership, right? The fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven. Job chapter 9 and verse 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He's in control of these countries, man. The leaders of these countries and everything. And so when he makes his move and then he tells them to do these things, and then it affects the people and all these kinds of things, man. So it's, you know, it's just how it all falls. But that's just what it is, man. You know, we'll just see how this goes. But this right here, this was news to me. And it's interesting that nowhere else has reported on this flight thing regarding this hantavirus, right? Because it's like it's no longer contained to the ship or whatever. Let's see what is going on here. WHO tracing over 80 people on flight taken by hantavirus victim. Geneva, tracing people. So you see, this is where they leave it open, man. So these 82 passengers and 6 crew on that flight with the hantavirus victim, right? So those passengers could suddenly be people who, you know, they return to different places around the world, and then all of a sudden they're talking about, oh, they're spread, you know, like it's spreading. You know, once again, that same tired narrative like they did the last time. But if it worked once, why not do it again? You know, if it ain't broke, no need to change it or fix it or whatever the saying is. Okay, so that's what it is. Pestilence is coming, and, you know, that's what it is. All right, so with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem HaKodesh. Shalom.